What it means to be a part of a community. Hi, this is Simon Leung from simonleung.com. Welcome to our show once again, and a very happy Sunday to, I believe, most of you, but definitely to me because it is 10:48 a.m. right now, Sunday morning for me, but I believe also in different parts of the world. We have people who are watching maybe from the US or maybe from other parts of the different again the globe, and so we're gonna have different time zones, and that's basically what we do every single time as we show up on different time zones at different times so that we can get a surprise and see who may actually show up. Now, before we get into our topic of the day, if you are joining us for the very first time, my name is Simon Leung. You can check me out at simonleung.com, and I welcome all of you who are here and joining us, because for the next hour or so, usually these live streams go on for maybe 60 minutes or 90 minutes or 2 hours, depending on your participation. So it also depends on the time zones that we're at, because what we usually see is that during night times, my time, that's when the engagement actually goes up. But today is a very nice Sunday, and we just came back from a nice walk, a quick brisk, exercise around our complex, simply because we cannot go out anymore due to our lockdown that is happening right here in Malaysia. But as we all know, of course, it has been a very, very historic previous 24 hours since the last time I spoke to you, whomever might be watching. The thing is, things continue to change, right? And so for us, when we are doing our live streams, when you want to listen to me, or when I feel like I have a message that I want to share with you, a lot of times I also want to make sure that we give you the best possible value that is also the most relevant in terms of what might be happening around the world. And so in the last 24 hours, we may have known that, of course, in the United States of America, there is supposedly, right, as without getting too political, as far as the electoral votes are concerned, there is a brand new US president and vice president elect, right? And so with all of that, obviously a huge change. And today, since we're talking about becoming a part of a community, especially if we want to be on the positive spectrum, if we want to unite, if we want to participate, if we want to become a leader, a lot of times that all starts with us. I also mentioned how we are on lockdown, right? 24 hours ago, actually, we were scheduled to be on a 2-week lockdown, and it was only a small portion of the city of Penang. Well, again, things have changed. I spoke too soon, because almost a few hours to the T, right after my Facebook post, well, there was a huge announcement that almost the entire country of Malaysia is going to go into the same semi-lockdown, with the exception of just a few different states. So obviously, all of that has transpired. It also has to do with how we can collaborate and how we can participate and how we can actually cooperate as well as a community. So all of those we're going to be talking about later on today. So with that said, if you're watching us again for the very first time, welcome. Usually I like to give a little quick introduction prior to getting into the topic, because it does take several minutes before the streams actually get out there onto Facebook, onto YouTube, onto Twitch, onto Twitter and Periscope. And so with all of that, we have a lot of different things that we want to share. So for those of you who are coming in and saying hi, we have a Facebook user, which I believe is somebody from one of my private mastermind groups, which you can learn more about, simonleung.com/mastermind. If you are in a private group, unfortunately, we're not able to see your name with this platform. So for a Facebook user who says, yo back, good to see you. We have Mr. Jerry, who is from Brisbane, Money Morning, Australia. A very good morning to you as well, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. The Funnel Stack is saying yo, and my friend Chris Lockwood is saying nope, not yet. Obviously, talking about the election that is going on, but very cool to see you, Mr. Chris. It's been quite a long time, and I think we all know, right now, what's going on in the US is just a big mess. Temporarily, hopefully, things will settle down. And the theme of today is, of course, we want to make sure that we, as much as we have control over, try to unite as much as possible. And the funnel stack, it's also saying it was me that said yo, but I moved to YouTube. So thank you very much. Yo, back to you, Mr. Funnel Stack. Great to see you here with us. So for today, right, because we are again on a different time, it is on a different day. We are going to be talking about something a little bit different simply because the situation, the current events of the world actually calls for it. If you know me, if you've been my friend for the past 10 plus years, or if we're just simply friends on Facebook, you would notice that very rarely, if at all, do I ever get political. And so even though we do have some topics of discussion that may be of a political nature today, rest assured, I'm not saying that I am on one side or the other, because I still do not get into politics. I don't get into religion. I don't get into any sensitive topics when it comes to my stance. Once we start going live and when I'm on the air or on my Facebook or anything like that, simply because I want to be respectful of everybody's opinions and things like that. However, the topic of today is that we want to essentially talk about how we can act and react as a community. And so regardless of what's happening, it is my hope that we can all use this as a learning lesson, because ultimately I am an entrepreneur. I am a business person. I do have my own masterminds. I have my own classes, and I have my own experience in terms of growing teams and working with students and clients and things like that. And what I see, the way that I perceive many things in the world to be, is that we are all a part of a community. Right. And so whether you say, yes, we are part of a mastermind community, we're part of a group, or you say we're all Americans, right? Essentially, we're still a part of some type of community where the ultimate goal, obviously, is we want to unite towards a typical cause or a positive cause, as opposed to being divided. I understand that for the past 4+ years, maybe even longer, the division has been so clear cut at that time that it is going to be impossible for anybody to just turn off and on the switch just like that. And no longer will we be divided, and no longer are we going to stop insulting each other, and no longer is everybody going to start butting heads, right? Because ultimately, what's done is done. Been there, done that. Now, I believe it is our opportunity to move forward, right? Move forward into the next phase, whether it's going to be a new president, whether it's going to be going back to the other president, because again, many people say that, it's not over until it's over. And so in many people's perspective, it's not quite over yet, as we saw earlier from my friend, Mr. Chris, who is joining us from the US. And so with that, though, nothing changes the fact that we right now have been impacted all around the world. I am currently in Malaysia. And it doesn't matter if I am in Malaysia. It doesn't matter if I'm in Singapore. I'm talking to my friends who reside all around the world, and everybody is talking about the election at this point in time. So obviously, it's something that impacts, whether directly or indirectly, the entire world. So it's not just a community, so to speak, of United States citizens or Americans. It is a community, and it's divided people, even those who are outside of the US, even those who are not citizens of the United States of America, even those who have no ties, right? Just the beliefs, just the arguments, just the perceptions, that is enough for people to around the world divide themselves, and they don't even need to, okay? And so obviously for many people, I believe that even though there is division, I see this as something that requires healing on the part of our global citizens. So make no mistake, I'm not just talking about the US. I'm not just talking about, politics. I'm talking about the mentality as a whole of the global citizens, and how we, as thought leaders, or if we want to be, as entrepreneurs, as marketers, as people who want to improve our own lives as well as those of our family, because let's face it, at the end of the night, right? Yes, we do have different beliefs. We have different systems. We have things that we have that are different that we believe in, and we have two different candidates or maybe more whom we put our trust in. However, ultimately, we are all fighting towards the same thing, right? We're all fighting for the unity. We're all fighting for, hopefully, the best for yourself as well as your family and your next generation and those who are around you. So it's not that we're fighting for different things. It's not that we necessarily have different beliefs. It's just that we've been swayed on different sides, thinking that each respective side is that solution that will provide the better lifestyle for all of us, right? So in reality, I believe that we should actually unite. We should actually be fighting all for the right causes, for the same cause, as a matter of fact, because we are all after the exact same thing. So I don't want to get too much into the whole herd mentality thing, because we all know what kind of a problem that might make. In fact, the whole herd mentality, it sounds very negative already. But unfortunately, whether we know about this or not, or whether we think that we are in that herd mentality or not, for the majority of the people who are on social media and bashing each other, and you're either on one side or the other, and if one side just so happens to be not talking about something that you believe in, right? And then you start talking about things, let's say, for example, right? Let's just say, for example, you are on Trump's side, and obviously right now everyone is saying that Biden is the new president elect, and you jump on the train and you say, well, fraud has happened, right? And the other side is saying fraud didn't happen, there is no proof, right? Well, both sides are actually saying that as a result of what had been influenced, isn't it? Whether it's from the media, whether it's from other Facebook friends, whether it's other people within your own inner circle, right? Somebody at some point said that there was cheating involved. And somebody at some point also said that there's no evidence of any cheating or fraudulent activities, right? But both sides respectively truly believe that, right? And so whether we're on one side or not, again, we're all after the righteous thing. We're all after what is right? We're all after what should be the correct choice, and what we should consider to be justice, so to speak. So again, if you're on one side, then you feel strongly that fraudulent activities had taken place, then obviously we want things to be settled, right? We don't want a president who is in the office who was not actually voted by the American people. And on the same note, right, if no cheating actually happened and authentic votes actually came in, then you would also be fighting in terms of that stance. So what I'm saying is that whether you're on one side or the other, you have a reason to believe what you want to believe, but you will always get attacked regardless, right? You can say one thing, and sure, you will have people, maybe roughly 40 to 60% of the entire population, who will be supporting of what you believe in. But then the other half, right, they're going to be against you. And not only are they just going to be against you, but they're going to be against you in childish ways. They're going to start insulting you, and they're going to say things like, well, if you don't believe this, well, we cannot be friends anymore, right? We cannot even be associated in business, in marketing, in work, or in friendships, or any other kinds of relationships, simply because the other person doesn't share in your belief. That is not a community, right? That is not sharing the same goals as one another. That is not all uniting and participating and hoping that we can all fight towards a common goal, fight towards a common cause to make sure that life in general just improves to the maximum for all of us, including ourselves, including our family, our future generations, and all of our friends thereafter, right? And so when it comes to saying things like that, I believe, if nothing else, it is time for many of us to take a step back, okay? Take a step back. Forget about the herd mentality for a moment. Forget about the ego. Drop everything and start working on yourself. A great example, I don't remember if it was this morning or yesterday, and this happens more often than you think. Right? Even for me, I talked about this multiple times in my live streams where for whatever reason, I'm sharing a message, I'm sharing about marketing, I'm sharing about live streaming tips, tricks, and tips or whatever else. And then people come to me in the comments and they make random comments, right? They'll say things like, oh, you gained weight, or you look older, or whatever else. I'm just obviously throwing some examples of trying to make a point that they completely missed the point, right? They failed to see the value in what I saw. And for whatever reason, they felt like that it was appropriate, or maybe it was normal, or maybe it was okay just to come up, whether it's live, in a live stream, or in person. Somehow it's okay to judge other people on the way they look, on what they believe in, on a variety of different reasons. I am a believer, right, that you shouldn't actually be judging people anyway. We are all sinners, aren't we? How many of us are actually perfect, without sin? And we do absolutely everything in the best possible way. We know everything there is to know, and whatever skill you're talking about, if it's a language skill, if it's a personal skill, a social skill, a technical skill, we're just the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be in the world, with no room for improvement, right? Until you get there, then maybe, just maybe, you have the right to judge somebody. But even for me, right, for the things that I am very confident in, for the things that I know I am very good at, I still never say bad things about other people. Yeah, people will gain weight and people will lose weight. Everybody also grows old. Everybody's hair will look different. The hair will grow. Maybe you'll get white hair. You will get wrinkles eventually. If you don't think that you will, and if you think that you look perfect and you're okay to judge other people, right, then maybe you're in your own different world. And what I was getting at is that, again, either this morning or yesterday, one of my close friends is posting something on Facebook and says that, oh, for all of you who is calling my wife fat, right? And I mean, there was a long thing about going out to eat and whatever else, but that's just wrong, isn't it? Why do we, as a society, think that it's okay, normal, suitable, appropriate, and that it's even polite, that it's even something that we can do to just judge other people, insult other people? Why? Right? So that we can feel better about ourselves, so that we can feel smarter, so that we can feel thinner, so that we can feel younger. What is the point of making other people feel bad, ruining their day potentially for no apparent reason? And so going back to all the herd mentality of what I've been seeing, right? I mean, it's again coming from both sides. If you don't believe what I believe, then you're an idiot. If you do not trust or vote for the same candidates that I want to vote for, then you are a moron, right? Same thing, both sides. If you are wearing a mask because masks don't work, then you're dumb. Or if you're not wearing a mask because mask can help save lives, then you are stupid, right? That again happens on both sides. I am neither saying that I am one or the other. In fact, I see faults in both. This is the part of the herd mentality that I'm talking about. This is not a community. This is not the way that you will improve yourself. This is not the way that you will improve each other. And this is not the way that we will work towards reuniting everybody who is not on the same page. So again, why we have to take a step back and why we really need to really think about what we want to do. Because again, right, if somebody doesn't believe what you believe, then suddenly they're asleep, right? You tell them to wake up or think about it or let that sink in. These are phrases that are very condescending, right? It makes sense to you because you feel like you believe something, and if other people do not believe the same thing, then they are asleep. So you tell them to wake up, you tell them to think, you tell them to use their head, you tell them to think about it or to let that sink in. But do you know that you are insulting other people for their intelligence? Maybe those who use this phrase, they know very well that that's what they're doing because they think that other people who don't believe or share the same thoughts as them are stupid. But again, what I am saying is that as human beings, we need to take a step back and start to think that maybe, just maybe, other people have their own belief systems, their own thoughts, their own behaviors for their own reasons. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're stupid. It doesn't mean that necessarily that you are smarter than them. It just means that there's different perspectives, right? So if we say that 50% of the people in the world are Trumpsters and 50% of the people in the world are for Biden, right? Does that mean that 50% of the people, one way or another, is smart, and 50% of the people, just because they believe in different things as you, does that mean that they're stupid, right? Now, I'm not trying at all whatsoever to make this political. I am using political examples to share with you the importance of being a part of a community. Because if you're just going to be in a community, let's just say, for example, right, Groove. Okay, we talk about Groove all the time, but you cannot be in the Groove community when some people are saying that I believe that I should be using the website creator. And some people are saying, I believe I should be creating the membership system, right? And some people are saying, I believe that I should be using the Groove card store, right? Are we saying that those who agree that they should only be using the Groove Pages tool, right? They're the smart ones. And those who disagree and want to use Groove cards, they're stupid, right? This is the kind of division that we are talking about. Just because you have a different preference, just because you think differently, you have a different plan, it doesn't mean that those who disagree with you have mental challenges, right? And so as a community, we say that we want to help you as much as possible, right? It doesn't matter if you are financially associated with me or not. I am going to help you. It doesn't matter if I know the tool that you are using. If I don't know how to help you directly, I cannot answer your questions. I will find people who will help you to answer your questions. That is part of being a community, right? That is being a part of a community that unites, that participates with one another, and will lead towards later on. So we've been seeing a lot of that during the election, right? Everyone's always in your face, right? I am going to win. I'm going to beat you. And of course, if things don't go your way, then somehow cheating or fraud is happening. But now we're after the initial electoral votes or whatever decision, right? And what we're seeing is, of course, again, I'm not saying that everybody is doing this. I'm just sharing what I noticed on my social media with my friends, people whom I have at one point or another looked up to, see as my mentors, and really are mentor figures to many entrepreneurs out there who have just really, let everybody know how they feel about different things. And so what I'm seeing right now is those who are winning, right? Or they're winning or thought that they have won. Again, they're very in your face. Ha ha, where are you now? All the people who talk, crap and we're saying all these different things. Why are you silent all of the time? And those who are doing bets and say, hey, you owe me this much. And pretty much they're just showing off, right? And then the people who lost, right, on the side that of the losing team, or so far losing team, right, before all the court cases or whatever came in. Now they're also saying that, oh yeah, it wasn't fair, all these different things, the frauds happened and you guys cheated, blah blah blah. So what we see, number one, on one side, for lack of better terms, right, if this is a true competition, if this is in sports or American Idol or dance competition or whatever else, right, if this was the attitude that those who lost really had, we would be calling them sore losers, wouldn't we? But on the same note, for those who won, you should also be more gracious. So what I'm seeing also is what we're calling sore winners. Still, nothing has improved, right? It is still a division. Those who are winning are saying, ha ha, na 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 na, bye, and they're making all these memes that are, in my opinion, inappropriate. It is not necessary, right? And obviously just over the top, not suitable, right? Not mature and very childish. Same thing on the other side. So I'm not saying obviously that everybody on those sides are doing it. I am just saying that this is what I'm noticing, and as a community, we need to do better. Okay, we need to grow up. We need to see things from both sides, from all spectrums. We need to stop following the hurt mentality. Maybe on the leader on one or both sides, right? We have been following somebody who hadn't really been acting at the best possible behavior during that particular situation. And unfortunately, it rubbed off on us, and it rubbed off on those who followed them, and they started believing them, whether it's one side and people are using bad names, or people are saying that they should wear a mask or they shouldn't wear a mask, or whatever else. When that happens and you follow what the leader says, suddenly, right, anyone who doesn't follow suit in the exact same way, we think that there is something wrong with them. We call them dumb, we make fun of them, and it's just not something that I believe is a necessary reaction. Just like what I said earlier, right? And I referred to the way that people look, the way that you believe certain things, what you believe in, your religion or your gender orientation, or whatever else. Just because somebody else is different, it doesn't mean that we should necessarily give us the rights to make fun of them, right? And make them feel bad, right? And if you're doing that, or those who are doing that, do you realize that you are no better than somebody who makes fun of somebody else just because you feel like they are fat, and you're calling them fat and you say, hey, you gained weight, and you make them feel bad? Do you realize that you are no better than those people? In fact, you scoop down to that level, maybe even worse. Okay, so again, the message of what I'm trying to say here for this particular session, we need to do better as a community, because this will dictate your future of who you are as a leader, as a thought leader, as an entrepreneur. If you want to be a mentor, a coach, a speaker, right, a trainer, a consultant of any kind, where your credibility, your authority is important, right? Then we need to act professional. We need to think like adults, and we need to speak with class, right? This is something that I've always thought was just the norm, until roughly around 4 or 5 years ago, when all these things suddenly completely changed the whole spectrum of everything that I grew up believing. It just completely got thrown out the window, right? And so this is not a message to say that anyone is doing anything wrong or saying anything wrong. You know whether or not you are one of those people who act that way, or if you are, or if you're not, you know others who do, right? I believe there is not a single person in this world right now who has Facebook, who's on Twitter, who's on Instagram, that has not had their own experience seeing other people bashing other people just because they are different. They believe in different things. They look differently, or they simply believe in different types of things. So I believe that, of course, it doesn't necessarily need to go there. We don't need to insult one another. We don't have to put our friendships on the line and saying, if you don't agree with me, then you cannot be my friend, and just turn a blind eye to reality, right? Turn a blind eye to what we should be doing at the core of being human beings. Okay, so with that, that's probably as much as I would probably want to get to in terms of politics. Before that, okay, I do want to say hi to a few people who have been messaging in the comments. So I want to leave off right here. We got the funnel stack who's saying it was me saying yo. So yo, we have Victoria. Hey, Vicky, right? I remember you. Nice. She's saying, Simon, what time is it over here? From San Francisco, I think it's been over 10 years. Wow, since we last met and we last hung out, I think at your house for that barbecue, right? So it's been a very long time. Thank you very much for showing up. This is probably one of the first times that I've been on live at this hour. Right now, I am in Malaysia. It is 11:20 a.m. So I believe in San Francisco is probably around 7 or 8. I get confused because right now the standard what do you call it? Daylight saving time just happened, right? So you're 4 hours behind me. But very cool to see you. Thank you very much, Vicky. I will always continue to call you Vicky because that's how I remember you. Thank you for joining. Let's definitely catch up. It's been a while. Alex is saying, hi, good morning. Good morning to you as well, Alex. And hello to you as well, Mr. BK Tan. Okay, so we have some friends who are from the US now and from all around the world. So it is not uncommon for us to talk about different topics that will be a little bit sensitive, right? And I try not to talk about that, especially when we have different multicultural and multi-geographical and everybody all around the world. We want everyone to feel at home. We want all of you to feel comfortable interacting and things like that. But sometimes if we want to talk about life lessons, if we want to talk about how we can improve, some things, as uncomfortable as they are, they do need to get addressed. Okay, so right now, hopefully, if you're in my community, if you want to learn more about what I do, you can always do that, right? Because you can go to simonleon.com/mastermind. And when you are a part of my community, I will pull in different life lessons, different situations that's happening right now in the world as actual examples of what we can do to improve ourselves. And right now, with such big buzz about the whole US elections thing, again, without getting political or anything like that, I still believe that it is something that we still need to address, because for those of us who can take that step back and move forward and put away our blinders and start to see things in a different perspective now, knowing that we can use this as a life lesson to improve ourselves, those around us, we unite, participate, and become leaders, it will just simply make all of us that much better. Okay, so all these things that's been happening, what I've been noticing, with all the elections and everything else, basically is not a community. Okay, what's happening right now does not call for unity, right? So definitely not a community, right? Because unity, there is no community without unity. And so it's also not leadership, because leaders do not insult other people. Leaders do not encourage other people to act negatively, right? On the streets, on social media, to one another. So as leaders, we also need to understand that those who look up to us, right? They're going to follow what we say. They're going to do what we do. So if you believe in people wearing a mask, then you need to wear a mask. And if you don't want to wear a mask, right, know that other people who are following you, they're not going to wear a mask either. So lead by example. And then, of course, it's also not fellowship, because ultimately what we're doing is we're either being arrogant if we have the sore winner mentality, or we are playing victim and saying, oh, this person cheated and it was very unfair, blah, blah, blah. Become a problem solver, okay? Don't play victim. Don't, have this mentality that you can just blame other people just because things don't go your way. We need to, again, become more successful by thinking like successful people. Change your mindset, change your mentality to become that person that you and your family can be proud of and other people can look up to you. Okay, so with that, let's transition a little bit about what we have talking about over here. Before that, let's go ahead and address a few different people. We have a Facebook user who's saying, hey, Simon, not sure if the name are coming up through today, but great to be here as always. Thank you very much. If you are in my Facebook group, in the mastermind group, it will so far always show up as Facebook user unless you are on my YouTube channel that you can see right here, or you can see the Facebook page right here. And if you go there on my public page, then of course we will be able to see your name. A great example, okay? Yet another great example, and I'm not gonna say anything bad about this, Mr. Dan. Okay, so again, right here it's saying Hidden Bidden hasn't win anything yet. Number one is irrelevant because this is not a political statement. Okay, but this is actually an example of what I'm saying, right? You're either on one side or the other, and what we can do better as people is just to spread unity, right? And saying how we can solve problems, not insult other people, not have negative connotations, don't call people names, right? We want to be as positive as possible. Sure, you can believe that, something will be contested. You can believe that it's going to be taken to the courts, right? But again, this is not one way or another. It's fine that you have your own opinion, but in my opinion and in my perspective, it is absolutely not necessary for us to cross that line, start calling people names, start insulting other people. That's the point we're trying to make in this particular live stream. But on the topic of that, right? Some people are saying right now, okay, what's going to happen next? Well, whatever's going to happen next is whatever you make of it, right? I will tell you, if I were in the US right now, it doesn't matter if Trump is my president. It doesn't matter if Biden is my president. It doesn't matter if it's Obama again. It doesn't matter if it's a Clinton again. It doesn't matter if it's a Bush again. I'm still going to live my life the exact same way that I normally would. I will still continue to improve myself. I will still continue to learn. I will still continue to read books. I will still continue to provide value. I will still continue to share, and I will still continue to lead and make an impact in my communities. Okay, do not, and I repeat, do not let other things that are outside of your control dictate who you are as a person, as a character, as somebody who is destined for so much more. You are supposed to be so much more than whomever the president of the United States might be, whomever the vice president might be. You are in control of yourself. Neither Trump nor Biden is going to give you the life that you deserve. Neither any president, any prime minister, any king or queen in the world are they going to directly, right, aid you, help you, put money in your pocket. You are responsible for doing all of that. So whether it's business, whether it's you improving yourself, whether it's you demonstrating how you can improve the livelihood for you and your family, right? That's all on you. It doesn't matter who your leader is. It doesn't matter if you leave the country. It doesn't matter if you exclaim that you don't have a leader, right? You are still responsible for making your own life worthwhile. So stop again with the excuses. Stop again with the whining and complaining and saying that didn't happen for me and that's why my life sucks. Take responsibility, okay? Nobody is the reason why your life sucks if your life sucks, except for you. On the same note, nobody's going to be responsible for making your life the best that it could be, except for you. Okay. And so when you say what's going to happen next, well, we have this brand new president, so crime is going to increase and the taxes are going to go up and our freedom is going to be taken away and the virus is going to disappear, right? Again, I am not going to say I am on one side or the other, but that's the kind of comments that I'm seeing, right? And when that happens, a lot of us, we are speculating, aren't we? We are speculating what ifs. None of us are actually saying that this will happen because we don't know. And one thing that's really funny is when people say, yeah, when and this is not even just today within the last 24 hours, they've been saying this for months, right? If Biden gets elected president, just watch the virus disappear overnight, right? Or within a few weeks, there won't be any coronavirus left. There's not going to be any COVID-19 left. The pandemic will be over, right? Thinking that everything is associated with US politics. Well, that's a great transition to my next subject, right? Because right now, as I mentioned at the top of this particular stream, I mentioned that right now we are in the midst of a brand new, yesterday it was announced that it was going to be 2 weeks in my section in Penang near Queens Bay. Okay, near Queens Bay Mall. If you're familiar with this area, this is the district that's going to be on semi-lockdown for the next 2 weeks. And so I anticipated that for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be on lockdown because the cases went up. But yesterday, we have just been announced that pretty much the entire country of Malaysia, minus just a few states, are also going to go into semi-lockdown, CMCO, conditional movement control order. Okay, and we're gonna be in semi-lockdown for the next 4 weeks. So it's not even 2 weeks anymore. It's the next 4 weeks. Newsflash: people here do not care about US politics. Okay, maybe some of them are talking about it. Maybe people are discussing it because it's a hot topic. But I guarantee no decisions that we make is as a result of what is happening in the political spectrum in America. Okay, the last time that we had a lockdown here in Malaysia, we initially had a regular lockdown. It was supposed to be for 2 weeks. It got extended another 2 weeks. It got extended another 2 weeks. And in that month and a half time frame, the government here in Malaysia, they said that while the safety and the health of all the citizens was priority, and that was why we were on lockdown. The entire government, the entire country went into millions and millions into debt as a result. And so that's when they started to slowly open back up the country, right? Step by step by step, district by district by district, state by state by state. I don't think this government or any other government in the world or any other country, right, would choose to lock down their entire country, lose billions or millions of dollars just because of US politics. Okay, so no, this doesn't have anything to do with politics. If you think that if Biden gets elected, the pandemic is going to be over, right? Well, guess what? We're still going to be in lockdown. From Hong Kong, where I'm originally from, the cases are also increasing, right? In a lot of places like Singapore, like Australia, like Indonesia, Vietnam, also recently, after a very long time doing extremely well, they recently had their first death, okay, as a result of the coronavirus. I don't think people there are sacrificing their own citizens for US politics either. Okay, so again, what I'm saying is take a step back. Stop the herd mentality. Stop thinking that all of this is happening because of US politics, because of Biden, because of Trump. That is the herd mentality because it's not true, right? I knew all the way back in March or April when people were saying, yeah, the virus is going to go away. It's going to disappear when it gets hot. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Why? Because I live in Malaysia where it's always hot. Okay, it's always hot, and the virus was still continuing, and the cases still continue to go up. It didn't matter what the weather was. It doesn't matter if it's hot, it's not going to go away. It doesn't matter if it's cold, it's not necessarily going to get worse. Maybe you get the flu and other things, right? But I'm just talking about reality here and not anything that has to do with politics, because again, I know people, I have friends, and I definitely have friends of friends and family of friends who are getting this virus, who are no longer with us as a result of it. Okay, so for you and anyone else there out there who are still thinking that it's a hoax or whatever else, I'm not here to say it is one way or another, because again, I'm not going to get into that. But what I'm saying is that if you take a step back, okay, stop the herd mentality, stop following what other people, maybe some of your leaders or perceived leaders, are saying, and actually see what is happening, okay, then maybe, just maybe, you can put in some of your own thoughts into it, your own consideration, your own opinions on what is happening. Because again, our country right now in Malaysia, we're not getting locked down for the next 4 weeks simply because of US politics. It's not happening, okay? We are doing it because the government here, they see this as a real threat. And they used this as an opportunity to ensure the safety, the health of their citizens. Nothing to do with US politics. So stop thinking one way or another. Stop thinking that everything is associated with US politics, because again, nothing can be further from the truth. So before we move on to the next part, Mr. Nicholas, good to see you. He's saying, hey, Simon, welcome back. Thank you very much. I can see your name now. Very cool. Yesterday, you only showed up as Facebook user. Okay. Now, without getting into politics, I don't really see this as something that we want to get into. Okay. So the funnel stack, I appreciate your comments and I can also appreciate your opinion, but this is not a conversation about who is the winner, whether or not there is fraud, or whether or not one side or another was declared the winner or is legitimate or not legitimate. This is talking about community. It's talking about the unity of everybody involved. I just use this as an example. And so this is actually a great example of what we shouldn't be talking about in this particular conversation over here. But again, I still appreciate your input. Thank you for sharing that. Toastmasters, we believe that the only opinion of value is the one you pay for, or the one that you thoroughly research, but not research done in a social media echo chamber. Okay, so for all of us, we have our own ways of doing research. Of course, we have all the ways that we have to believe in something, but I also agree that a lot of times things that we see on Facebook, things that we see in the media, it's very one-sided, right? It's also very opinionated. It's also very biased. And so it's very easy for us to get, quote unquote, and I don't want to make this sound too negative, but for lack of better terms, many of us do get brainwashed, right? We get brainwashed just watching TV. We get brainwashed just watching reality shows. We get brainwashed just watching what's going on YouTube or social media or whatever else, because these things affect us. And whether we consciously or subconsciously, without really think about it, right? Without really thinking about it, these words still affect us, our behaviors, our train of thoughts. So with all of that, I do recommend that we stay away from the negativity as much as possible, but sometimes you do get curious, right? You want to see what's going on, and so you get affected. So Tosamas, I absolutely agree with you. Nicholas is saying politics in the past, Greek and Roman history, where politics was founded, was about open discussion and honesty. Now it's about opinions and echo chambers. The art of discussion is sadly being lost in society, and I agree. And this unfortunately has been happening, right, for the past several years already within our society. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's exactly why I'm choosing this as a subtopic as a demonstration of our main topic, which is community. It's supposed to be a community. We're supposed to be a society, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's anything else, right? Education, your own beliefs, or whatever else. We're supposed to be able to talk about this and be open to other people's opinions, be open to other people's beliefs, be open to other people's choices. Now, what's happening, right, is if you are different in any way, shape, or form, you believe in something differently, you look different than me, right? Unfortunately, that is a case for hate crimes to start occurring. That's a reason for people to start hurling insults. That's a reason for people to not get along just because of slight differences in the way that you look, in the way that you speak, in the way that you believe in different things, right? This, unfortunately, is what our world has become. And again, my point, this is not the mentality of a champion. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be a business person, you want to be successful, right? We cannot be like this. As a society, as a community, we need to change. We need to do a lot better. Okay, so for all of us who are here today, I believe that this is absolutely a big part of how we can strive to improve for ourselves. So going back into the topic of let's just say community, right, and leadership, let's start swaying away, okay, from politics. Let's start swaying away from pandemic, because what I'm seeing right now is starting to become more of a political discussion, right? And some people with different opinions are coming in with their own opinions, which is fine. I respect your opinion, but as I've said in the get-go, I don't want this to be a conversation about politics. I respect you, okay, regardless of what you believe in. I don't want your beliefs to be a reason why we cannot be friends anymore. Why one way or another you start to insult one another, right? Or you start to say bad things towards each other. That's the last thing that I want. So let's stop talking about that. Let's get away from politics. Let's get away from the pandemic. Let's start talking about community in general. So if you want to learn more about how you can be a big part of a community, what I would encourage you to do is, number one, recently we did what we call a 14-day groovathon. You can see more about that in the back over there of on my whiteboard. You can see simonleon.com/groovathon. We did a 14-day groovathon, and I had the pleasure, the honor, the privilege to host what we call Groove at Night. Okay, and at Groove at Night, I basically hosted for anywhere between 8 hours, sometimes 10 hours or more every single day during around this time slots, because it was nighttime in the US. And so I interviewed other people. I talked about how great our community was, and that was a great opportunity for me to expand my skills as well, right? To increase my exposure to the community and to practice more of what I preach, and also to share more value. So I saw that as a really great way as part of a community to get in touch. So if you want to be a part of that community as well, I encourage you to do so by going to simonleon.com/groovathon, or you can go directly to myinternetbuilder.com. Again, that's myinternetbuilder.com. Earlier, you may have mentioned my private Facebook group. One of them is this free mastermind group, which you can find at simonleon.com/mastermind. Again, this is yet another one of the links that you can see in the back on the whiteboard. And so take a look, check it out, and you will have a lot better idea on exactly what I was talking about when I said community. Okay. Now, when it comes to community, yes, we basically just want to do our part, regardless of whether or not you feel like it might be relevant to you, regardless on whether or not you feel like is what your participation into a community might be, right? Your ultimate goal should ultimately still be some type of a leader, okay, in that particular community. if you have your own reasons for not being in front of the camera, if you have your own reasons for not wanting to share, your identity or whatever else, we can respect that, right? However, we're not saying that you need to go public whatsoever. If you want to be a big part of the community, you will need to contribute, because one of the big things that I want to stress is that as a community, it's not always just about me. It's not always just about you. It's about all of us. It's about every single one of us, all wanting to be a bigger part of the community, helping one another as well. So whether you like it or not, right? When you are a part of my mastermind group right now, where you can find more about right here, really weird with like a mirror image or something, right? SimonLeon.com/mastermind. In this example over here, if you are a part, I strive for you to also eventually at some point in the future become a leader as well. Because sure, you can always stay in the back and you can always consume the content and you can always absorb the value, but you're not actually going to, and I don't believe you will be able to grow to the next level, and you won't be able to actually be able to take yourself to the next step in your professional career, your business, your professional life, until you actually demonstrate yourself as a leader and show your leadership skills as well. And just to give you some examples, right? Yesterday, we did talk about the topic of opportunity. Okay, so if you were around yesterday, you would have noticed, right? The topic of opportunity. And so opportunity doesn't just mean that other people are giving you opportunity, or you have the opportunity to learn, or you have the opportunity to watch me on live, because I'll tell you, these live streams, they're public, right? They're on YouTube, they're on Facebook and everything else. And one thing that I noticed, and this actually came in yesterday as one of the comments, somebody after the fact, okay, watched the replay. And obviously, not everybody, like I said in my previous live streams, right? They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to hear every single word that you say. They're not going to remember your messages. And many times I talked about how we're going to be talking about live streams. We're going to be talking about business. We're going to be talking about bigger picture on how you can improve yourself and blah, 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 whatever else, right? And even after I said, we should not be making fun of other people and all those things, right? There was a certain person who still said things like, you gained weight, ha, 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 right? So obviously this person doesn't really listen to what I say. And yesterday I got another message, and this person along the same lines of says something like this. So I know you have your own reason for doing live streams. I'll cut that right there for just a moment. Yes, I do have my own reasons for doing live streams. If you have been watching the past 11, 12, 13, whatever episodes that I've been doing on the live streams over the past 2 weeks, you would know what those reasons are, because I actually repeat them almost every single time, right? So this person again says, I know you have your own reasons for doing your own live streams, okay? So yes, I do. That person should have known. They continued, but do people like you? Do people like you? First of all, very insulting, right? What does that even mean? Do people like you actually share information about how to make money online? Okay, so going back, people like you. Like I said, that's very insulting already. Probably we just grow up in different cultures. Probably English is not this person's first language. Probably this person doesn't even know the fundamentals of manners, whatever. I'll try and let that go, right? Because this person apparently didn't think that calling somebody fat is not inappropriate, okay? So maybe we just have different upbringings. I was just raised differently. But the fact that this person said, do people like you actually share information about how to make money online, right? You should know that this is actually not the reason why I'm doing these live streams. So I'll tell you right now, if you're watching these live streams thinking that in these 1 hour sessions or 2 hour sessions, I will share with you everything that you need to know about how to make money online, you're on the wrong channel, okay? That's not why I'm here. And that's never gonna be the reason why I do these live streams. So if you think that I'm doing these live streams and you're watching because you think that I'm going to be teaching you in these live streams how to make money online, I encourage you to just stop watching, okay? It's not for you. It's not why I'm here. If you want to learn more about how you can make money online, that's what the mastermind is for, okay? That's one of the ways. Watch my YouTube channel. I have tons of videos on there. I have online courses, mini courses. I have a community, okay? Join the Groove community. Heck, right? Why not? Because that's all the places where we show you how to make money online. So if you've been watching all these different episodes where I share with you resources and I say, if you want to learn how to make money online, go here. If you want tools, if you want a free platform, if you want free software, if you want free training, if you want free mastermind, a free community, free support, free everything, go here, right? And you still don't know how you can make money online, then either you need to improve your English, or two, you need to start paying more attention to what I say. These live streams where I share with you in 1 hour, 2 hours, it's going to be beyond making money online. It will still bring value to you. But after you have the marketing skills, the internet marketing training that you will be able to learn through a variety of the different resources that I already give you, this will help you take your business, your own professional and personal life to the next level. It will help you to become a leader. It will help you to think like an entrepreneur. It will give you the right mindset, the right attitude for success. And if you're sitting there and you're asking these kinds of questions, you are the one that needs this kind of training the most. If you're sitting there and you're watching this and you're thinking, I don't need what you're talking about, and that's why people leave the live stream, and that's why people don't even tune in, because they think that they don't need it. Those are the people who need this the most. Okay, so know the reasons why you are here. Know the reasons why I am here. And this is the opportunity for you to be a part of a much bigger part of just making money online. You are going to be a part of a community. Okay. So if I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, talking about the Groove community here on its own. Being a part of a community, it is not just about you. It's also what you can be a part of. It's also what you can contribute. Okay, so again, yesterday I talked about the opportunity, and it's not just the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to consume information, to watch my live streams. It's also the opportunity for you to improve. It's also a part of an opportunity for you to be such a big part of the community that in the end, those who matter, the people at the top, they will identify you as leaders. They will identify you as people who are go-getters, and they will give you even more opportunities. Case in point, I've talked about the Groove community so many times, right? But this is a true to life living proof for you. Back in March or April, around that time frame, Mike Filsaime himself, he invited me into the community for the very first time, right? And that was the first time that I got introduced to the whole Groove community. Obviously, there were a lot of people who had already been there before me. But the moment that I came in, I started looking through the questions, and I saw the concerns that people had. I saw the problems that they had, and I decided that I was going to help them to answer the questions. I replied in the comments. I recorded quick tutorials for them proactively. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, how can I use Groove pages? How can I build my funnel? How can I build my site, right? I created a video before there were tutorials. Before David Lemon came along, I created a video that showed them step by step how they can build an actual website using that software platform. As a result, right, this caught the attention of the powers that be. This caught the attention of people who made the decisions, the top people in the company, and they reached out to me for me to actually do more things with them, to be a bigger part of the company, to be a bigger part of the community, to the point where if you watch from a few days ago, right, I actually showed you an opportunity where I didn't go too deeply into detail, but just to give you a hint, Donna Fox, one of the co-founders of the Groove Digital company, right? Of course, a close friend of mine for the past 15 plus years, she messaged on my wall our friendversary, right? But the way that she addressed me was not friend, let's make the next 13 years or whatever even better. It wasn't, hey buddy, hey dude, hey man, hey bro, hey sis, or whatever, right? It was partner, okay? She addressed me as partner. And that's because of my interaction in the company. It's my participation in the community. Okay? The powers that be, the people at the top, identified me as somebody whom they wanted to partner with on a very specific project. I believe it was probably something that I said in the past, one of the live streams. Again, it's not just what you know, it's who you know as well. Right? So if you know people on the top, if you know people who are at the top of the community that you are finding value in, that you want to participate in, that you want to be a big part of, then you also need to be proactive. You need to be an active member. You also need to deliver value. And you need to be such a big part of it that you as well are chosen to be a leader. And before even all of that, before the partnership even continue to begins, right? You may have remembered earlier, I talked about the Groovathon, the 14-day Groovathon, right? They asked me if I can host Groove at night. And of course, at the night sessions, I would be by myself. And it would be, unless I had a co-host, which wasn't every day, or unless I had people to interview, which also wasn't every day. And if I wanted co-hosts, if I wanted interviewers, I had to actually go out there and find them. And if not, I would be in front of the camera for 4 to 8 hours, sometimes even more, every single day for 14 days in a row. Do you know how easily I could have said no, right? Do you know how easily I could have said, I don't have time, it's too much work, it's a lot of effort, I don't see anything in it for me, right? I cannot pitch my product, I cannot pitch myself. It's not worth it for me, right? Do you know how many opportunities I could have had to say those things and just simply bow out and not be a part of the Groovathon? But I didn't say that, did I? I said yes. And even though it was 14 days and it was a lot of hard work, over 82, 85 plus hours just in front of the camera, another 100 hours behind the camera, in the back room, as backup, doing whatever, right? Watching other people from behind the scenes in the green room. This was over 100 hours of my life that I would never get back, away from my family, away from my business, away from other things that I could have been doing, but I chose to say yes. Right? I chose to do it, not because it was convenient for me, not because it didn't take a lot of my time, not because it was easy. It was the opposite of all of that, but because I also saw that as an opportunity to practice my own skills, an opportunity for me to express value, to share value, to also give back to the Groove community, and also yet another opportunity for me to shine, right? To demonstrate what I can do, to demonstrate the value of what I can bring to the community, so that the people on the top, so that the other co-founders, so that people like Mike, like Donna, like John, and everyone else, they can see the value that I bring. And maybe, just maybe, there will be even additional more opportunities in the future. Okay, so even though it wasn't directly something that I said, can I get something in return? Can you pay me by the hour for this, or get some additional affiliate commissions? I didn't, right? Because I didn't even promote my own link at all, right? It was just purely content. Every time anything has to do with upgrading or sign up for an account, we always sent them to the main page, right? groovefunnels.com. It wasn't until now that we are here that I'm telling you, you should go to myinternetbuilder.com and join my team, because I will help you as an affiliate, right? But at the same time, by joining, this is now your opportunity. Not just an opportunity to learn, not just an opportunity to get your results, not just an opportunity to improve and everything else, but now it's your opportunity to shine, your opportunity to prove to those who are at the top what you can do, to prove to those and give yourself the opportunity to show that this is not just for you, right? You are proving that it is not just for yourself and that it is for other people. But it wasn't just me, right? It wasn't just me and how I got started. If you notice some of the other bigger names within the community, right? People like David Lemon, people like Angie Norris, people like Dex, people like Art Stevens, and many others. If you're an active member of the Groove community, right? These names should probably be household names to you by now. Some of them have been hired by the company. Some of them are official partners. Some of them will always be a part of any Groovathon or any launch or any parties or any Groove events pretty much for life, right? How did they start? They started by contributing. They started by answering questions. They started by being active. They started because somebody at the top asked them if they want to do something, if they want to be a bigger part of the community, if they want to give some training, if they want to do this and do that, and maybe get additional exposure and contribute, provide value to the Groove community, right? They didn't say no. They didn't say, I don't have time. They didn't say it's too much work. They didn't say give this opportunity to somebody else. No, they took it. They seized it, right? They saw it as an opportunity that they cannot refuse. And that's why they're at where they're at right now, right? They didn't say, oh, this is something that I don't want to do because I can start my own group, right? They didn't say, this is something that I would do, but it takes too much of my time, right? They didn't see this just as an opportunity for themselves. They saw this as an opportunity for others to see them as a leader. Okay, so that's basically a major basis on how we should really think in terms of a community, in terms of what you feel is suitable for you in your own journey of leadership. Let me know, okay, in the comments how that relates to you. If anything that I talked about in parts of the community, if you also notice how these people were able to grow just because in the beginning, they offered their help proactively up until the point where the people at the top start to ask them for additional things that they may want to do. And because they said yes, now they're a huge part of the whole Groovement, right? A huge part of everything that they're doing. And of course, ultra successful as well. If you notice any types of trend, if you see this as something that you can do as well, also want to be a part of, or maybe within my own communities, something that you want to participate in as well, let us know in the comments below, because now I am also looking for leaders. I am also looking for people who deserve opportunities. And if you're ready to shine, if you're ready to, whether or not you want to reveal your identity, but know that still, even anonymously, if you can still be a leader, be somebody who is considered a mentor, to be able to help other people, right? Let us know, or let me know, and I will make sure to contact you directly and ensure that you are given the appropriate opportunities. All right, so let's take a look at some of the comments that we have received thus far. Nicholas is saying, I may not agree with everyone, but I'll take the time to listen and then evaluate what is being said. If the points are of value, I may change my mind. It's community that creates value, so we all must keep an open mind to the values within the community. Thank you, Nicholas. That is my sentiments exactly, right? Because the point is, the entire world will not always agree with what you say. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are right and that they are wrong. It doesn't mean that you are right or wrong and that the other person is vice versa, right? Because ultimately, it's all about the part of being the community is that we are open to listening. We're open to the possibilities of being wrong. We're open to maybe, just maybe, there is a slight chance that what we didn't believe in is actually what is happening, right? Maybe, just maybe, what we believed in was actually wrong, or that it was the incorrect path, or we ourselves had been brainwashed, right? Had been incorrectly led, and we just made a mistake. Everybody makes mistake, right? The point is we need to actually sit back, like I said, right? Take a step back, listen to what's happening around you, notice the way that you have been acting and reacting, and just choose, right, to be a better person. Choose to be open. Choose to not fall into the same traps of calling other people insults and bad names just because they think differently than you is not necessary. So for Nicholas, he's saying, I may not agree, but I will listen to you. And that's all we can really ask for, right? So thank you very much for doing that. The final stack is saying, okay, Simon, but if you say pineapple on pizza, it's okay. I'm going to have to leave. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And no, just so that you know, I'm not on that side either. So yeah, we're just going to stay away from that. And so as a result, you are more than welcome to stick around. Tozamas Creative says, love the knowledge and insights you can learn from a community. The mind power of the many is so powerful, a way to learn and grow. Yeah. And that's why we're in communities, right? So that we can continue to learn from one another, not so that we can take sides, not so that we can create our own herd mentalities, so that we can all, gang up on other people and it's me against you, which unfortunately is what most communities have transformed to, right? We need to go back into what the word community is all about in the first place, right? Because again, community, in the end, right, is the word unity, okay? And believe me, I did not read this anywhere. I actually just noticed this, and it was not pre-planned. I just noticed this earlier when I was reading the word community. And yeah, there just so happens to be the word unity within community. And that's what it's all about, right? That's what everything here is all about. So yes, definitely take advantage of being a part of a community by contributing, by learning, by getting involved. Okay, and then Nicholas is saying, I'm always contributing to the communities I'm involved in, love to help people and see them succeed based on what they learn from you. Greatest buzz in the world. Yeah, and a lot of times it's not always that you only do this or we only do things, we only help other people if we get paid for it, right? If there's something in it for us, if for whatever reason there is something in it and we are getting, like I said, getting paid or getting financially rewarded somehow. That's unfortunately the mentality for many people, right? I don't want to do it because I can be spending time doing something else for myself. I can be building my own business. I can be building my own courses. I can be doing this. I can have my own community. I can create my own mastermind. I can do my own thing where other people will look to me as a leader, where people will be paying me as the consultant or the coach or whatever, right? Me, okay? That is not community, unfortunately. Okay, if you are a part of the community, you're still willing to help, but only if you get something out of it. Okay, that's not being a part of the community. Like I said, use everything as an opportunity for you to grow. If there is an opportunity for you to be a bigger part of a community, to be asked to be part of a community, to be asked to be a leader, or maybe you even proactively become a leader and offer your assistance, offer your help and saying, I am here. Who needs help, right? And passionately wanting to help people without asking for anything in return. That is the true characteristic of a leader. And that is the kind of leader that we want in any of our communities as well. So thank you very much, Nicholas, for sharing that. Tozamas Creative says the funnel stack, nothing better than a ham and pineapple pizza. We're gonna stay away from that conversation because yeah, we just don't want to go there. The funnel stack is saying, I actually agree. I lived in Japan for years, so I've had all kinds of creative pizzas and enjoy most of them. Yeah, and same thing. I know that excuse me. I know that Japan is known for their creativity in their food, especially in Western food as well. And same thing actually in Hong Kong, where I am from originally. So yeah, whenever, whenever we start talking about all these different countries and things, I so miss the traveling. And now, I was always counting down until 2021 when the borders are officially reopened again. Obviously, we don't know if that's gonna happen, but if it does, then obviously we cannot wait to pack up our bags and start hopping on flights again and doing all those things. And that's the other thing, right? Earlier we said that it's not political because not every single country in the world is locking down their cities because of the US politics. Well, the same thing can go for business as well, right? How many times have we heard in the last few months of all these airlines going out of business? Right? These huge airlines, these huge brands, including the one that originated from my home country of Hong Kong, right? Cathay Pacific, they had their own sister airline called Dragon Air. They're canceling that. And as a result, thousands and thousands of jobs are getting lost. And it's not only Hong Kong, Singapore Airlines, Malaysia Airlines, all the big airlines in the world, around the world that are not US based, right? Losing their pilots, losing their stewardess, losing jobs, losing headquarters, losing offices. Do you really think that all these big companies, multi-billion-dollar industries, they're sacrificing themselves just for US politics? Okay, I'm not even going to say yes or no. I want you to think about that. I want you to come up with the answer for yourself. Just be logical, okay? Think what makes sense. I know there are a lot of nonsensical jimbaroos and whatever else that's going on out there, all these hearsays, and that's why we say stop believing what you hear. Stop believing what you read. Stop believing just what other people are saying, whether it's the media, whether it's opinions on Facebook, whether it's your friends just blabbing away on their own perspectives, right? Have your own, okay? Don't insult other people just because they didn't make sense to you, but at the same time, you can have your own thinking abilities, right? You come up with your own ideas, come up with your own research, gather your own evidence, know what makes sense to you, and don't follow the herd mentality. And at the same time, do not make fun of other people just simply because they are believing differently than you. Okay, a little bit off topic, but you know what I'm talking about. Nicholas is also saying making a mistake is not the issue. It's not recognizing that you have made it and then stubbornly refusing to make the changes you need for your own benefits and the benefits of those around you. Yes, absolutely. The mistake of not knowing, number one, what you're worth, right? That is definitely a common mistake. During the Groovathon, and again, if you don't know what the Groovathon is, here you can find out more about it. I had many people whom I talked to, whether as hosts or co-hosts or VIP guests or interviews, right? Because they didn't know the value that they had. They were like, well, what am I going to talk about for 2 hours, right? They were nervous, right? Because they hadn't done lives before and they didn't know what to talk about. And they knew that thousands of people could potentially be watching them live on the stream. They were nervous and they were thinking, what can I possibly share? And in that conversation with them, they basically told me the story of their life in about 5-10 minutes. And to me, I was like, well, every single thing that you just mentioned just so happened, in my opinion, to be something of valuable because your experience, it teaches them to be independent, for example. It teaches them that there are opportunities in different countries. It teaches them that just because you are of a certain personality, it doesn't mean that you cannot bring value. It doesn't mean that you cannot get results. It doesn't mean that you cannot achieve success, right? So with all of that, one after another, for everybody who previously said, what is the value that I can bring? And they didn't know their own worth, right? I had to share with them that this is actually something that I believe you should share. And we'll probably need more than 2 hours to share everything just because of the value that you are bringing to the table. So don't make that same mistake. You have value. You can share, right? And this is absolutely something that I believe is missing in many people's deck of cards. And the other thing that people will also be stubborn about is, yes, they're refusing to make the changes that they need for your benefit as well as those around you. Again, the whole mentality of, I'm busy. I would rather spend my time doing something else. I can create my own group. I can do that myself. I don't need to express this value. I don't need to share this. I don't need to do this training over here. I don't need to help other people this way because I can actually do it on my own. I can do it by myself. I can create my own group. I can create my own courses, do my own community, right? That is not the community mindset. That's not unity. That's not leadership. Because what's going to happen when you start creating your own groups? You start doing your own value, right? And your group starts to grow. Well, wouldn't you also want your community members to also help each other out? Wouldn't you also want them to unite? Wouldn't you also want each other to share the value as much as possible? So you can't have it both ways, right? You can't just say, I want to do it for myself and I want all my people to do this, but I'm not willing to do it for the community members that I am in the groups that I am in. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so before you can even bring value to other people in your own community, learn how you can bring value in other people's community. Be a part of it and become a leader. Thank you very much, Nicholas, for confirming and verifying that we are on the same page. Nathan is saying, hello, good morning, Simon. Finally, I'm about to start my live today. Daily 1 hour live. Congratulations, Nathan. I think it was just a few days ago when you said that you were getting started and then you joined us for the group reunion and you joined us pretty much every single time after that. And now you have either been inspired or motivated to start your very own live. So let us know how we can find you, which page or channel it's going to be on. As much as possible, we're going to want to support you. Daily 1 hour live is quite a commitment, but again, we support you and we encourage you to do it. Very good. Good job, Nathan. The thoughts, the plan, and the execution is all that matters. Do it as often as you can, but also keep in mind what I talked about in one of my live streams a few days ago, right? If you're tired, if you are exhausted, if you need to rest, take time off. Okay, nothing is more important than your health, whether it's your mental health, your psychological health, your emotional health. Make sure that you're doing this for the benefit of yourself and make sure that you are able to provide value. But hey, go through it, do your first 5, your first 10, your first 50, or as we say, your first 100 videos. Maybe they won't be crappy. Maybe they won't be as good though. And ultimately, they're going to get better and better and better. And we are going to support you. Nathan always continues to say, any tool to stream on different platforms for free, IG, YT, plus Facebook. There is a yes or no answer to this. The answer to the first part, any tool to stream on different platforms for free, the one that I am using right now is called Restream. And when you go to simonleon.com/restream that you can see on the screen right now, you will be able to get your free Restream account. The only thing is that it will be a little bit limited in terms of features. You can learn more about that on the page if you want. Also, there will be a Restream right over here. Trying to point correctly. There you go. Right here, right? You will see that little icon of my logo or whatever else, right? If you do not upgrade, then unfortunately, there's going to be a watermark of Restream right there. It's not necessarily a deal breaker for most people because they are using it for free. However, regardless of which one you use, which platform for the free version, you're always going to get some type of a watermark right there. Okay, so if you want to decide to upgrade, you can upgrade at any time that you want. Obviously, there is no obligation to do so. But when you sign up for simonleon.com/restream, you will be able to use the free account and you will get $10 credits just for signing up, which you won't need to use if you don't decide to upgrade. Okay, so it's all good. You will absolutely be able to use that for free. The second part of your question, IG plus YT plus FB, you will be able to use Restream for Facebook and YouTube, but Instagram will not be available because it is actually against Instagram's terms of services to use a multi-streamer or a third-party tool to stream on their platform. Are there ways around it? I believe the answer is yes. I'm not going to talk about that because it is against Instagram's terms of services. If you're interested to learn more about that, I don't recommend that you do it. But if you're curious, you can always do a Google search for it. And maybe you will find out more. However, like I said, I do not encourage it simply because it is against their terms and conditions, and you could potentially get your account banned or blocked or whatever else. So with all of that, I would probably say if you want to live stream on Instagram, just do it directly on the mobile app. There should be no issues. All right. Nicholas is saying, personally, I find that by helping others, I'm helping myself to learn too. Bringing more value to others actually brings more value to yourself. This is the absolute truth, right? I believe it was Zig Ziglar who said, the more you will get everything that you want in life if you're able to help other people achieve what they want as well. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. I always paraphrase because I don't memorize these quotes, but you get the idea, right? You want to help as many other people as possible. And when you do, and you help enough people, you will also get what you want, right? And this is so valuable just in concept, in theory, and in execution, especially when you're a part of these types of communities. The more people that you help, right, the more experience that you have in helping others, and the more motivation, the more encouraged you get as well. And eventually, the inspiration that you provide to other people, that inspiration comes back to you. And whether it's you yourself inspiring yourself to execute and become a better version of yourself, or the people whom you help helping you back, or whether it's in a community where the people at the top are able to identify you as a leader, like what I mentioned with me and people like David Lemon and Angie Norris and Dexter, right? And other people within the Groove community, because we were all selfless, because we were all just showing gratitude to the Groove company with the great tools that they provided to us. And we just simply wanted to give back. And because we did that, right, the powers that be at the top identified us as the leaders. And now there are unsurmountable opportunities that are waiting just for us, just for being a part of that community at that capacity. Okay, so whether directly or indirectly, there are so many ways that we ourselves will be able to benefit as part of the community, to lead in it and become active and have the right mindset, the right mentality to genuinely help other people without asking for anything in return, without thinking that I should be doing this for me. This, like, if I help you, then it's taking time away from my business that I can be doing something else. Forget about all those negative thoughts, all those selfish thoughts. It's because of those things that keep you from being a part of a community, that keep you from doing what you can do to be the best version of yourself, to give others what they deserve as well. So Nicholas, thank you very much. Again, I will repeat what Nicholas mentioned because that's valuable. Personally, I find that by helping others, I'm helping myself to learn too. Bringing more value to others actually brings more value to yourself. So continue, the moral of the story, continue to bring value to other people, continue to help others. Okay, Nicholas is also saying none of these things are mine per se. These are paraphrases from books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, Think and Grow Rich, Build Yourself by Building Others, and of course, hundreds of other books I love to read. And that's how we learn, right? And that's how we also continue to improve. If there are any additional books that we recommend, obviously within our own private mastermind, that's going to be the place where we are going to recommend additional resources for you to continue to personally develop yourself. I believe that nobody knows enough in the world to become a master at everything. That's why, going full circle, don't judge other people, right? Don't call other people names. Don't judge them on the way that they look, on what they believe in, on their social status, or whatever else, because it only means that you somehow think that you are better for being different, or that you are better because you believe a certain type of way or the kind of person that you are. And I would like for everybody to believe, I would hope that you don't really believe that, okay? Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we all believe in equality, that we're all equal, and the only person that we should really be competing against at any given time is ourselves, right? Always strive to improve, be better, be the better version of yourself today than you were yesterday and the day before. And you strive that tomorrow you will be better than what you are today as well. And this is the only way that we're going to do it. Okay, we're going to continue to learn. We're going to continue to spread value. We will be a part of, right there, the community. Always get my left and right mixed up. Okay, so with all of that, what do we have for you that is closing out for the day? At the end, keep in mind that you want to be a leader. You want to be a part of the community. You will need to be a team player. Okay, do what you can to help as many people as possible. Do what you can to take advantage of the opportunities to have the best interest in mind for the community members. Again, not just for yourself, not just for one or two people, not just for your best friends, your best buddies, the coolest dudes who are actually in the community itself, or those whom you feel would bring you the most benefits. Okay, strive to be a success story. Strive to become a testimonial for your coach, your mentor, your leader, whoever that might be, and you yourself should also strive to be the next leader as well. My advice to you, if at any time you are provided an opportunity, if at any time there is a chance for you to lead other people, there is a chance for you to become a bigger part of an existing community. If there is something that you know, whether actively, proactively, or reactively, be able to bring more value to the full group, other people. Do not pass the baton to somebody else. Do not pass the ball to somebody else and say, let that person handle it. That person has more time. That person is more qualified. That person is interested. Don't have that mentality, okay? You take the ball. You take the lead. And if need be, take the ball and lead with the person that you are recommended. As they say, 2 heads are better than 1. 3 heads are better than 2. 5 heads, 10 heads, 100 heads. The more leaders that we have, the better we will become as a community. So don't just pass on responsibilities to other people so that you can blame others for things that go wrong. Take control, take responsibility, and do what you need to do to, again, be the best version of yourself. Again, my advice, if there is an opportunity, say yes. As we talked about yesterday, do not see these opportunities as a problem. Do not see this as a burden. Do not see this as a way of saying, oh, that is just another thing I need to worry about. I don't think I'm ready for it. That's another thing that I need to do. I think that person should do it. No. See it as a challenge. See it as something that you want to overcome. See it as an excitement, something that you want to do for yourself, for others. See it as an opportunity. And as we said yesterday, seize it. Okay? Seize it, but not only that, prove yourself. Prove yourself not to anyone else, but to yourself that you can do it. Demonstrate your gratitude to your leaders. Demonstrate your gratefulness to those who helped you along the way, your mentors, your coaches, right? By helping others in return, becoming a success story and giving back. When you give back, when you yourself also become a success story, those 2 ways are going to be the most rewarding ways that you can give back to your leaders, to your mentors, and your coaches. Okay, so strive for those goals. In the end, it's not always just about you. It's always about the community. It's about those who are around you. So let's think in unity, think in terms of how we can participate, and think as leaders. That is all that I have for you for today. If that was helpful for you, let me know in the comments. Let me know that you are still here. Let me know that you want more or what suggestions that you might have for future sessions, or if you have some opinions or comments on what we covered for today, because our favorite part is usually the engagement. I understand for a good majority of what we talked about today, we did talk about things that were political, some things that were about the pandemic that may or may not be comfortable for the most of us. And so regardless, right? Needless to say, the interaction was a little bit down. But like I say, right? Even if things are uncomfortable, the reason why I do these live streams is because I do address these things, not necessarily to judge, not to share my opinion, but use them as teaching lessons, marketing lessons, life lessons for each and every single one of us to improve our own day-to-day lives. Okay, so with all of that, I hope that with that you're able to get something out of it. And even though we dove into some uncharted territories that I probably will very unlikely get into again, or at least very rarely, it is my hope that a lot of times when we do, it is something that we can learn from. All right, so we're gonna end with some of these different comments. Nicholas is saying personal development should be a daily event in your life. Your growth, I believe, on a personal level is attuned to the books that you read and the people that you associate with. Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to hang out with people who make fun of other people, then you're probably going to make fun of other people as well, right? You're going to hang out with people who are insulting those who do not believe the same way as you do, then you're going to act the exact same way. But for those of us, again, who take a step back, can actually see that no, we should not be talking and meddling in that group and participating in that kind of conversation, and if possible participate at a much higher level and seeing things from all standpoints and being constructive, productive, and diplomatic about everything, right? Then you will know that you have passed the test to become a better person and a better version of yourself. Nathan saying, thank you, Simon. Got to count. I have to make Facebook and YT channels. Probably I have to choose name. I'm thinking of name. Obviously, that is something that only you can decide on. But yes, you can actually create a Facebook page, or you can live stream directly on your personal profile if you want. And for YouTube, yes, you'll also need a YouTube channel. The funnel stack is saying, thanks so much for your time, Simon. It was fun. Thank you very much as well. Thank you for your input and a little bit of your political views. It's always very interesting, but one thing I respected about your comments is you did try to be as diplomatic as possible, and you didn't demonstrate any type of childishness for people who didn't agree with you. So congratulations for that level of maturity. And then finally, Nicholas is saying, protege ready. Just want the chance to run. Let's connect, Nicholas. I know you sent me a message. I don't remember if I responded or not. I think I may have done so. Maybe it was in the middle of the night, either your time or my time. But again, I get all the time zones mixed up. But eventually we will be able to have a much better conversation. Let's choose to talk more later on today or tomorrow. It's still early for me. Actually, you're in Queensland, right? If I'm not mistaken. So we're in very similar time zones. I think you're a few hours ahead of me, but we will absolutely connect. In fact, why don't you just shoot me a message at your earliest convenience right after the session is over, and we'll see if we can have a quick message or chats or whatever is the most convenient for you. All right, Tozamasas, thanks for your time. Enjoy these sessions immensely. Thank you very much for joining as always. And of course, we look forward to seeing you next time as well. So with that, continuing on with our day. Today is Sunday. I think in the US, you're approaching Sunday as well. So all of you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I know I will with my family. You should do the same. Do what you need to do to make it a great day, the best. Try not to get negatively influenced by all the things that are going on in the media, what other people are saying. Again, put on those blinders. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. This is all we are doing for you, and hopefully you as well will be able to benefit from all of that. All right. So until next time, we will actually see you, I believe, either tomorrow or the day after that. I don't usually want to make a commitment the next time that I'm going to show up. Usually I just decide on the spot. I'm going to do it. And I just hit the go live button and there we go. Okay. But if you have, again, any additional suggestions, whether you're watching us on the replay, whether you're live with us right now, comments wherever you are, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, or wherever else, let us know what you want to listen to next. If you want to participate, if you want to be a guest, if you want to chat with us, if you want to be interviewed, any cool stuff, because we want to make sure that you get the best possible experience as we can. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day. Again, we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao, adios, and I guess goodbye. All right, see you later. Cheers.